Hello, everyone. My name is Misty Hayes. I'm an assistant professor of education and early childhood education here at Walters State. Welcome to EDUC 2220. I will be your instructor for this course. I'm so happy that everyone is here. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome you and then walk you through the first week and what that will look like. So, for many of you, this is not your first semester. Some of you, it may be. Regardless of whether this is your first semester or not, I wanted to walk on and kind of walk you through what we will be talking about and what you will be responsible for this first week. So, as you know, the fall semester started Monday, August 25th. If you are not familiar with the eLearn platform and you are brand new this semester, I would encourage you to go under Student Help tab. There is a video series that walks students through and guides you how to navigate eLearn. So that is helpful. And if you're not a video person, you could always look at the PDF guide to eLearn as well. So that's just a small tip if you are not familiar with the eLearn platform. So when you first log into our course, you're going to see our course title and our course number. So we are in Introduction to Exceptional Learners Special Education. Our course number is EDUC 2220. Now, this is a web course, which means it's asynchronous. It will be a web-based course only, which means we will not meet in person. This course is 100% online. And all assignments and lessons and instruction will be solely online. Okay, so when you first get into our course, as I mentioned, this is called the course homepage. What you're going to see to the left here underneath the course title is what we call news items. And this is just news messages that you will see listed. Every week, I will be putting a message. Sometimes it will be accompanied, or regularly, you will see a video that accompanies the message. And this is just to kind of walk over or go over the expectations for that week or that module. Sometimes modules will be 2 weeks long. So we'll be walking you through that. If there's a course project we're doing, I might also do a separate video for that. So anytime that I put anything on the course message news item section, I will always email the class and say, hey, I just posted a video on the news item on the course homepage. So just make sure when you receive that email, you come here and look at it. So you'll see here, there's just a welcome message in our first news item. It has a link to the calendar for this semester as well as the course homepage, excuse me. And it also has a link to our course syllabus, which I would like everyone to make sure they read. Now, there are attendance activity assignments, which means that you will have a first day attendance activity that I want you to complete. I will be recording attendance and your progress to the college regularly. This first week attendance and any other assignments is tied to your attendance as well as your financial aid because your attendance is tied to financial aid and it can impact it greatly. So that's why we always encourage students to make sure that they're completing not only the first week attendance activities, but your activities throughout the semester because that's reported to the college regularly. Underneath that, it shows you about attendance and assessments. Since this, as I mentioned before, since this is a web-based course and we will not meet at any time during the semester, all assignments, course projects, exams, quizzes will be housed in eLearn. Okay, so here is a eLearn student video for course content. Again, this is helpful if you're not familiar with eLearn. Underneath that, you're going to see a image of our textbook that we'll be using in our edition. There's more information in the first week getting started module about our textbook and how to get that textbook. It also goes over course technology for using the LMS or eLearn system. Also, lastly, there is information about how to get in contact with me. So on the right of the screen, you're going to see our course calendar. Our course calendar is also listed in our syllabus as well as the Getting Started module. So there's several places where you will have an opportunity to look at our calendar so you can keep up with the due dates. Now, if you are unfamiliar with eLearn, how you will navigate through the course is through the tabs at the very top of the page. So Course Home is where we are right now. If you if you use your mouse and hover over course information and click on it, you will see a drop down menu. Now, you have different selections. You have grades, rubrics, calendar, and content. Content is where we're going to go to get all of our course materials. So that is one that you need to remember. The communication tab, it has our email. Also, that's how you can go to discussions on the discussion board. The assessments tab is how you will get to the Dropbox, meaning that's the platform for submitting assignments as well as quizzes and exams. And then you'll have other tabs here, like you'll have course tools where you can check your class progress and have the class list if you would like to email anyone in our class and see who is in our course. Then you'll have a resources button. This is a good way for you to get connected to the library. We have different support offices here for you, such as the campus bookstore, various writing, math, tutoring labs, counseling and testing. So these services are good resources for you. Under the student tab is what I was speaking about earlier. If you are unfamiliar with eLearn and the learning management system, it'd be a good idea for you to either look at the video series that helps you navigate through eLearn, or you can look at the PDF guide if you're not a video or I guess visual person. So that PDF guide is the same thing. And then you have a more button. Yours may look a tad different, but for the most part, it's the same as mine. So let's go ahead and jump into content so you can kind of see what your responsibilities are for this week. So when you click on content, as I mentioned, this is where all of our course materials are housed. On the left side, you're going to see the table of contents, which is how you will navigate through the course. So the first thing you're going to come to is um, the schedule appointment hours. The schedule appointment hours is housing my office door schedule. So this is any of my office hours listed here. This is for students who would like to have a meeting with me. So please make sure that you look at my schedule to see when I'm not going to be in class and I'm available to meet during those office hours. Now, I can meet with you virtually or I can also meet with you in person. So please be sure to look at that schedule. Now, underneath that is what we're going to be working on this week, and it is called the Getting Started module. And you'll see it says read this first. So up here at the beginning, it's just a little summary of the module, what you'll be doing this week. Um, Basically, this module is just designed to get you oriented and prepared for the semester, and tells you the things that you'll be doing. The first thing you'll see here is our course outcomes. This is very helpful if you're one of those people that likes to see how things are connected. So the course outcomes is basically a curriculum map. It will list all of our course outcomes, how each module is connected to our course outcomes and what objectives do you have for each module, and then what are those assignments connected with the objectives and course outcomes. So it's a very good map for you if you want to see that. Also, the next thing is our course syllabus. There is a link. um, what you have to do listed here, I'm going to back up a second before you look at the course syllabus. Again, I put a message here telling you at this time you should have read the home message, welcome message on the home page. The first week is about getting oriented, and it tells you that you are to read the syllabus. And at the end of the week, you should do these things listed here. And that's what I have listed underneath. So you're going to read the course syllabus. There is a required email after you get through the guided getting started module. You will be introducing yourself on the discussion board. And then you will complete what we call the pre-test. Now, the pre-test, I don't want everyone to get upset. It is just quizzing you on the course outcomes. So, what I'm looking at is to see where you're starting in this course. What do you know? What's your background knowledge about special education? And at the end of the semester, I'm going to give you the same exact test and see your growth and to see that we mastered those course objectives. And again, those course objectives are listed up here in the course outcomes. You do not get points taken away from you. You do get points for participating in it. So please do not get upset. So that is a good way to see what you know about special ed. All of these items here are part of the Getting Started module. Since you are not attending this class or this course in person, it is very important for you to complete these activities by the due date. What that does is that counts as part of your attendance, and attendance is connected to your financial aid. So not completing these items can affect your financial aid. So it's important for you to do them and get them submitted by the date. So just make sure that you do that. And if you have questions, you feel free to reach out to me. Underneath that is a little information you should know about me, the instructor, as well as the course, giving you overview of it, as well as our course schedule. So that's important information you need to look over. The next thing is our textbook. Now, our textbook is going to be an ebook. Now, if you look here again, this is something that you saw on the welcome homepage. But what I did here is I put the ISBN numbers, the publisher, the edition, and all that. And at the bottom of the picture of the text, I let you know that this book that we have for this course is going to be an ebook. So this course is enrolled in what we call the Inclusive Follow Access Program. Okay, now this is partnership with the Water State Bookstore. I do have a link if you want to know more about it, but this means that you have access to the correct materials on day one, and you don't have to worry about trying to get your textbook before then. It is electronic access only for this semester, and it's automatically loaded into our course in eLearn. Okay, so there is directions and steps of how to access your book I put here. Now I know not everyone prefers electronic. You prefer a physical copy. If that's so, there is the ISBN up here for a paper copy. Now keep in mind that you do need to get the correct edition. That's why I listed the ISBN for the paper copy. But if you don't prefer physical copy, don't use the ISBN. Don't buy anything because you have the book located already. You just have to follow these directions, okay? Some additional course resources that we will be using as part of our reading materials and modules are these two texts, okay? These are optional. This one is required, but I put them in here because part of your required reading for each module may have some of this in here. Okay, they're connected to our textbooks. That's why they're listed. They're free. You do not have to purchase them. One of them is called the Tennessee Special Education Framework, which as a teacher you will become very familiar with. And then the other one is called A Teacher's Guide to Special Education. When you click on the links, you should be able to download them and save them. So I encourage you to do that. That's just part of the Getting Started module that you will need to look over and make sure you got your book correctly. Then again, I mentioned those same videos that were up here underneath the student help. I went ahead and put them in here as well so they're one more place. This is just helping you navigate eLearn. If you're familiar, you probably don't even need to look at that. Accessibility, technical requirements, technical support, those sorts of things. So that will be the first week. I know that's a lot of information there in that section. Now, after you go through the that section there, you're going to see underneath something that's called course resources. Okay. What I want you to think about in this table of contents, always use the table of contents when you're navigating and clicking through. Just think of it linearly, right? Like you're going down, checking off everything you've looked at. Okay. You're going to go all the way until you see what's next. And you on your screen might not even see module one because it could be hidden on your end because we're not ready to get into that yet. Okay. This week is going all the way down and completing all of the things that you see here. This is just giving you an overview of our course and all of our resources, okay? So you're going to go through the course resources, which talks about, the writing resources through the library. We're going to be using what we call IEPs and training IEPs. Again, it talks more about that special education framework. It talks about the Council for Exceptional Children, and we're going to be using IRIS modules and what those are and how we use them in this course. The next piece of information that's important for you is course projects and service learning. I will get more into this later, but your job this week is to read through it, to know that there are three major projects beyond the quizzes and exams, and it's your responsibility to look over them. One of them is what we call service learning, which is a high impact practice where you will be going into the classroom. This experience is essential for passing this course, so it's important you read over that. You will also have two other course projects you will be required to do. One of them is teaching a lesson and presenting it, and then the other one you will have a choice at, which is one of these three choices here. In interviewing a parent with a child who has special needs, um, either reviewing a peer-reviewed article or participating in what we call work-based learning. And more information to come on that. Your job now is just to read through that. And again, it's a lot of information the first week. That's why we go over these things several times. But your job is to read through them. After you get through the course projects and service learning, you're going to come to assessment information. This is also listed in the syllabus. But this just gives you our grading scale. It breaks down our assignments and points. It talks to you about quizzes. And then again, I added a little link in there if you're not familiar with eLearn and how to get to quizzes and access them. And then lastly, what's next, right? What are you to do next? So just make sure that you read through everything on getting started, course resources, projects, and assessment. And complete those first week attendance activities. And then I will send a new video out where we'll begin module one. All right, I know that was a lot of information. I am so excited for this semester. I'm excited to learn with everyone. And until then, take care.